Enough is enough. I've had enough. This has gone too far. Thank you very much. Could you please fuck right off with the overreach with the Black Lives Matter inference bullshit? Yes, that's me demonetized for this video. No, I don't care. This is exactly what needs to be said right now. For weeks, we've had nothing but capitulation, prostration, and endless bootlicking going on and on and on and on to Black Lives Matter. This despite the fact that the United Kingdom is not, I repeat, not the United States of America. It has different issues and different problems, a different history, and is 3,000 fucking miles from where an act of police brutality wrongfully killed a black man, spurring weeks of protest, violence, rioting and looting in the greatest overreaction since the murder of Franz Ferdinand kick-started a whole fucking world war. Now we have this. The Cabinet Office calling knighthoods racist. And why, you may ask? Because a painting of the Archangel Michael stepping on the neck of Satan looks too familiar to a murder that took place in a foreign country. Are we going to remove all references in law to suffocation in case it accidentally reminds us that in another country a man was killed? Are we going to have to remove all of the religious imagery of Judas hanging himself in case we are reminded that a man in a foreign land once suffered abuse? Are we going to have to tear down St. Thomas Church in Salisbury, which contains the Doom painting, and instead erect a giant bronze effigy to the brutal martyrdom of George fucking Floyd? A brutal man with a history of violence who met a predictably brutal, if surprisingly undeserved end in the US of A. Who's calling for this? The imagery was already changed from a dark-skinned Satan to a light-skinned Satan in 2011, just in case people were offended by a centuries-old depiction of light beating darkness in a religious painting. Now the Governor-General of Jamaica has apparently had enough and called for it to be redesigned. Here's a novel perspective for you, Jamaica. Deal with your own institutions and let Britain preserve Britain. If you don't want to wear your knighthood because you're so racist you cannot distinguish a historical depiction of Satan from a murdered criminal that wasn't from either of the nations that you represent, then be my guest. But tradition matters, so spin on this mid-digit, get back in line. Where do you have the audacity to dare to do this? To spit on a tradition that A, harms no one, B, no one was complaining about, C, is such a spurious and bizarre connection that it's almost as if you have some kind of secondary grievance against the award in the first place and are trying to stay relevant. Every single step that the establishment takes in capitulating to this mob, although in this case it isn't even a bloody mob, is it? It's one person and one celebrity. Shame on you, Monty Python crew. But regardless, every step that the establishment takes to erase and erode history and tradition cannot be taken back, will not be taken back. It has been the case with every subversion and perversion of tradition, law and history that has taken place in living memory, and before, no doubt. That's all I've got today. I'm out.